Teddy, when you have a guy like Vassiliy Jirov, who is a world-class guy, and he is a reigning champion, and he's fighting in a non-title fight, as a trainer, are you worried that maybe his focus isn't totally there?
Well, I like the idea that he's staying active. This is his second non-title fight in 2 months. He only won a title a year ago. He had 2 title defenses. This is his 4th fight in a year, so he's staying active. Yeah, you don't want him to look past the guy. This isn't a big name. You don't want him to get caught short, so to speak, but it's good that he's staying active.
He says he'd like to fight Gomez or James Toney and eventually Roy Jones Jr. Let's take a look at both men. They are in the ring. Esteban Pizarro turned pro back in 1982. He's had layoffs of 4.5 years and 4.5 years in the middle of that career. Went in at 194 pounds. He's from Puerto Rico. 21-2-1 with 9 knockouts. He has never been knocked out in his career. And Vassiliy Jirov, the Tiger, fighting out of Scottsdale, Arizona, is 6'2", 26 years of age, 195 pounds. The Olympic gold medalist from 1996, 24-0 with 22 knockouts. California rules for tonight's main event are as follows. No 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count. Fighter can be saved with the bell in the final round only. Accidental cuts, they'll go to the scorecards after 4 rounds are complete. Robert Bird is our referee. And Vassiliy Jirov getting ready. 207-10 as an amateur. He was the Val Barker Cup winner. That goes to the outstanding boxer in the Olympic Games. In fact, in the semifinals, controversial, but he defeated Antonio Tarver of the United States 15-9. Round number 1 underway. Pizarro last fought on June the 26th of last year. Lost a 12-round decision to Terry McGroom. It was a close fight, and Pizarro felt that he had busted up McGroom and that he got robbed in that fight, Teddy, and he really thought about quitting. He stepped away. He was distraught about the decision, and he said that's why he had the 11th month layoff. So I asked him, well, now, why are you back? Why are you fighting again? And he said, you know what? I took a look at the landscape in the cruiserweight division, and nobody is that good, according to the way I see it. Why not jump back in it and get involved again?
In other words, he can make a living as an opponent. He's not saying he can be a champion, but he figures that he can go rounds, they need opponents, and he's good enough to be that kind of guy and to earn some bucks.
Well, Pizarro has been, as I mentioned, a pro since 1982. Jirov was 7.5 years of age when Pizarro turned pro. And he has been around so long, or at least been fighting as a pro over time for so long, that he fought Iran Barkley when Barkley was on his way up. Back in 1984, lost an 8-round decision. Knockout ratio, Jirov 92% and Pizarro 38%. 11 of the 22 Jirov knockouts have come within the first 2 rounds.
As you said, Pizarro's been a pro 18 years and 4 months to be exact, but he's been inactive 12 years.
That's right. That's a big if. And he explained it to us. He said between 85 and 90, he had problems with the law in Puerto Rico. His translation, he spent some time in jail, and also problems in 91 to 96. He says that he's wasted an opportunity to have a decent career. He said he was not disciplined nor mature enough, but he feels that at this point in his life, he has his house in order, so to speak, and he's ready to make one more go of it.
He's got the right idea. He's trying to keep it a slow pace. He's the older guy, wants to keep it at his pace, not the younger guy's pace, and he's trying to sharpshoot, pick spots. Jirov does leave himself open coming in, and look, you can see Pizarro's idea is to time him with that right hand. Let Jirov commit himself a little bit, leave himself open a little bit, and just pick spots. Maybe time him on the button.
Well, Pizarro said that he saw Jirov fight twice, and he said, I'll tell you one thing, I think he's very slow, and I will be able to make him pay for his slowness. That remains to be seen.
Right now, he's got the right idea. I tell you the truth, Pizarro. He's going to tie his man up on the inside. He's got a young body puncher in there who's 26 years old compared to his 35 years of age. He's not going to let him work inside. At least not right now.
Jirov counts Evander Holyfield as one of his ring idols. And he says he's been working a lot with heavyweights, and he feels that as he gets older, he'll wind up in the heavyweight division. Not a bad role model in Holyfield, who traveled the same route. Let's check in with Max Kellerman.
Friday Night Fights in here in the atrium with lovely Sarah Ashland. Sarah, what are we doing here?
Hi, I'm just feeding these adorable birds. They just love all these sweet little things. Do you like sweet things, Max?
Aaron, turn off the TV set for a second. No. Yeah, it's good. What are these? These guys have names. They speak English. What? These are parakeets, right?
Oh, yes, they're gorgeous parakeets, and they speak. They say hello, and I want food, and give me that cookie. These cookies are wonderful, too. Would you like a bite?
I don't really think I can. We're gonna go back to the guys ringside. I guess that's the best idea right now before I get in trouble.
All right, Matt. Way to hang in there. Tough assignment. And there is Hugh Hefner seated at ringside with his girlfriends, hanging out, enjoying the action tonight here at his mansion in Beverly Hills, California. We get set for the start of round number 2 between Vassiliy Jirov and Esteban Pizarro.
You see the way Max's legs were buckling there?
I think Max's girlfriend is watching this a little closer than she might normally. I'm sure she is not out hanging out tonight in New York City. She's watching every move that Sir Max makes.
And I'm taking notes.
Teddy, I think Teddy was looking to hire a still photographer to get some pictures of Max for blackmail purposes at a later date.
Just, you know, just little friendly remembrances where we've traveled together. You know, that sort of stuff, you know.
Jirov with that left-hand lead.
You know, Jirov's going to be coming forward. He's more effective when he can come forward with that jab. Then it's harder to time him coming in.
Jirov's bread and butter is attacking to the body. And you just wonder how the 35-year-old Pizarro, how much body attack he can take.
Well, he's not going to be able to take too much already. You see, he's dropping his hands a little bit to try to block those body shots. And that's going to set up a little fake to the body and then up top, like Jirov just tried that time. See those good, solid left hands to the body like that by Jirov. Now he can bend to the body and then go to the head, Bob. Bend like you're going to go down and go up top. Get your man anticipating a little bit.
Earlier tonight, Max Heyman with a unanimous decision against Jeremy Morrison, and Mia St. John with a unanimous decision against Fran Alcantar. Butterbean still on the card and still to come.
Best shot for Pizarro, and you can see this. He tried to time Jirov coming in. Once Jirov's inside, that's all Pizarro can do, what he just did. Grab. Well, right here is where Pizarro has to be able to pull the trigger and try to nail Jirov as he comes in, maybe with something a little wide. Catch him at the doorway, right there. That's what Pizarro needs to do, and then get the distance outside again like he just did.
Ooh, low blow by Jirov. And referee Robert Bird make sure that Pizarro is okay.
Rammer now's ready. You know what he's doing. You know what he's doing.
See that wide shot there? Jirov a little bit over anxious. That's where you can exploit him a little bit. Nail him with a straight right hand in between that. And that's what Pizarro's going to have to do. Because he's not going to outdistance this guy. He's not going to outstrength this guy. He's not going to outpunch this guy. He's going to have to nail him something coming in.
A warning for Pizarro for holding. Vassiliy Jirov in control for the first 2 rounds of the scheduled 10-rounder, and down goes Pizarro. And it is over. Referee Robert Bird has stopped it.
Nice setup. Left hand to the body, right hook to the head. Beautiful combination. We were talking about the body setting up the head.
Yesterday we talked about the overall. Okay, there is Esteban Pizarro knocked out at the end of round number 2 by Vassiliy Jirov. Started attacking to the body and finished it off. So the reigning IBF Cruiserweight champion in a non-title bout knocks off Pizarro and improves to 25-0. And gets his 23rd stoppage, and referee Robert Bird did the right thing. He stopped this thing immediately, Teddy. He didn't even bother with the count.
He was right on top of his man. He saw his man's eyes. He saw the way he went limp. He knew what to do.
Dr. Paul Wallace and Blair Cranston attending to Esteban Pizarro, who has never been knocked out in his career. Now, granted, it is a long career that goes back to 1982 with the 11 and a half, 12 years of layoff time in there, but he had never been stopped.
It was set up. He set it up with the body attack we were talking about before, where it all starts with the body with Jirov. Well, he threw a beautiful left hand to the body and set up the nice right hook to the head.
So Vassiliy Jirov is now 24-0, 25-0. And Teddy, we're going to take a look at it again as we set up the replay.
Yeah, well, his thing is the body and pressure.
Boom.
He gets into good position, gets himself set up, and you're going to see a picture, at least what I thought I saw, a picture combination. Left to the body, right hook, nice and short to the chin. I guarantee you Pizarro never saw that punch. That's why it was so effective.
Well, we talked about it earlier. The body work of Jirov is his bread and butter, and it sets up the knockout right here.
Yeah, it sure does. Uses a little fake of the jab, left to the body, right hook, right off of that. Pizarro, the last thing he saw was that body shot. Never saw that right hook. And on top of it, it was coming from a southpaw, and you're not used to seeing that punch come from that direction with a southpaw to begin with.
Referee Robert Byrd stopped it after a count of 1. You see Esteban Pizarro is up. He appears to be okay, and that is a good thing, and a good job by Robert Byrd. He was looking out for the safety of Esteban Pizarro, who at 35 years of age is obviously well past his skill level as far as going against a world-class guy. Vassiliy Jirov, a knockout win. Let's send it over to Brian Kenny. All right, thank you very much, Brian. And Vassiliy Jirov, as you mentioned, with a second-round stoppage of Esteban Pizarro, and he's joining us with his wife, Rebecca. Congratulations on a great performance. You know, you told us yesterday that everything works off the body, and it was a gorgeous shot to the body, and then you nailed him with a cross, and I don't think he ever saw it.
Yeah, it's actually, I know my opponent, he was ready to the body, and I like show him, I want to make him feel like I want to punch him in the body, but my hand was hook, right hook, and I did this, and he never expected this.
You know, we're going to take a look at it right now. Is this the kind of thing that you work on in the gym time and time again, and then it unfolds for you in the ring? Is that heaven for you?
Yeah, it's my special time when I doing this my job, and it's just small things what I do with my trainer in the ring.
Did you get a sense early on that, you know, once you started hitting him to the body, it looked like he started to drop his hands at the midway point of round 1, and he was feeling that power?
Yeah, I started putting pressure in the body, make him putting hands down, and it was work. He did everything what I want, expecting.
You're an Olympic champion, the best boxer in the 1996 Olympics. You're the reigning IBF Cruiserweight champion. You have the belt right here. Who would you like to fight next?
I want to fight Roy Jones. Roy Jones, I'm here. I'm his belt. I'm waiting for you anytime. Just come in and fight me. I'm ready.
So you think Roy Jones might stop with Vassiliy before he heads to the heavyweights? You may make him turn right back around.
Of course. I'm here, and I know my power, and everybody see this, and I'm ready to fight.
Congratulations on a great performance. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much.
All right, Vassiliy Jirov with a gorgeous right cross after a left hand to the body. We take a look at it again, and Esteban Pizarro had no shot. We send it back to Brian Kenny.